Welcome to the Gals Guide podcast. Join us on an adventure to get to know famous and infamous women from around the world. Each of our presenters has a pick. Is she ancient history? Is she breaking news? Is she safe for work? Well, that's up to each presenter. All we know is that...
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Welcome back. I am Leah, and I am joined by Katie and Bonnie, and we are spending a year focusing on personal and collective well-being by learning from women of history. This month's theme is heart and connection, and Bonnie already talked about Helen Taussig, and Katie already talked about Nellie Bly. But before I share my pick, I wanted to ask a question about well-being, and I wanted to know, how have your friendships with women changed your understanding of love? Not romantic love, but love as nourishment, safety, or resilience. Your lady love, if you will.
Oh my gosh, I feel like this is such a complex question.
It is, yes.
It is. There's so many layers to this, right?
Yep, it's a tiramisu-like question. There's layers to the shit.
Tiramisu. And all the layers are delicious.
Exactly.
They
Yes.
really are, right? I mean, I feel like each layer has a beautiful name, like connection, understanding, compassion. There's so much you can get from talking to another woman because they have also experienced so many of the same things that you have.
That kinship.
They have, they have walked a mile in your shoes. A lot of women.
And the shoes hurt.
Yeah. So when you reach out to share an experience with a close friend, you know, you're talking to somebody that can, maybe they haven't had the same experience, but they can imagine how that would be for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not trying to discount any other kind of connection, but there is something really special about a friendship connection with your women friends.
Yeah.
When you share something with them, you know that there's a high probability that they're going to be able to relate to that situation. And the women you choose to be friends with are women that you feel safe sharing with.
Yep.
And that's really special.
Exactly. I was going to say, it's so almost undefinable, and then turn it to Bonnie and be like, Bonnie, how do you define it?
Ooh, Bonnie, hot seat.
I would say, gosh, because I didn't really have a whole lot of lady friends growing up. Like, I didn't really have I don't know, friends until like my 30s or something, really. So not so much
nothing wrong
how
with that.
changed. I'm just like later in life experiencing it. Just good. I guess I skipped the whole going to the club and having someone hold your hair while you puke experience.
Did that.
But yeah, especially around the time of our like wedding, like our whole wedding weekend, I was just like crying because it's like everyone's being so nice.
It was a great week.
I
was drunk the whole time. See? So you kind of got to see the female friendships fall to fruition wedding week. Yeah.
Well, Bonnie, you have some solid ass friendship advice that maybe younger friends weren't ready for.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
That I don't know if you've always been there, but like you're a solid ass friend, and I appreciate running things by you.
Yeah.
For sure. So I always know
so
no. I always know that you are in my corner. Like I just ran that Jonah therapist stuff by you, and you're like, look at the contract, find out what that bitch is doing, kill her, hang her up by her toes. Well, maybe it didn't escalate quite that.
I was gonna say I was also in that text chain. I don't recall murder.
But the feeling was there.
I mean, it was
an
undertone of
100%
punching somebody in the face
at that level. It was a very high level of support, and that's what our female friends give us, is that feeling of empowerment and that feeling that they have our back.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the world better watch out.
Yeah.
Because Bonnie's coming for their contracts and she's going to lock it down.
Bonnie likes to read the fine print.
Yeah, she does. She's after you bitches.
I like it. I like it. Oh my goodness.
What do you think, Leah?
There are things that I will share with the two of you that I wouldn't share with another, person on this planet. There are things that I share with women that I feel like only other women would understand, or that I can't articulate it well, but I can start it. You know what I mean? With another woman, and they'll be like, "Yeah, no, I get you. I get like, you know what I mean? You don't have to have the words right. It's a feeling, it's an experience, it's an anger, frustration, and a what the fuck can we do to make this better? You know what I mean? It's like all of that. It's not just solve this for me either. It is I just need somebody to listen, because what was it I was writing down? Shared trauma is the antidote to loneliness. Because in your trauma, you feel so lonely. But when you share it with somebody who either gets it or has been through it or will just sit there and listen with you, that shared trauma doesn't feel lonely anymore. It feels like, okay, all right, cool. We've expressed it. We felt it. We see that other people have this. Let's just get this. Let's just be better.
Right.
So.
And it's so hurtful to have it be questioned or rejected.
Right. Or you have
need it to be like,
prove it.
Yeah, no, I feel that. And there's women are there for you.
Yeah. And I will say it hasn't been every woman in my life. You go through this and you try that of I really want to share this with this woman, and you feel like just other women will just automatically understand. And not all women do. No. Some of them do start to judge you, and I don't know how to deal with that. And it's not every single one, but when you find that connection, then you're just like, oh, this is what I needed.
Yeah.
So you can get burned by it a lot. But the strength is to just keep trying.
Yeah.
Build those connections, keep those friends, fight for them.
Find your people.
Exactly. Be their alibi person.
Goodbye, Earl. Right? Oh, wait.
Exactly. Yes. Well, my question doesn't have any necessarily connection to my lady specifically. So I don't have a really good segue, but I was thinking a lot about friendship and about sisterhood. And I was thinking about the writing letters aspect that is somewhat to this month, but not all of it. What just really kept coming to me is every time I started thinking about heart and connection, I kept thinking about this one particular woman. And I just really couldn't stop thinking about Jane Goodall. That's just heart connection. That's what kept coming back. So I think it's really weird that after 300 episodes, we haven't covered her. But it is one of those, like Katie was saying on the Nellie Bly. This is one that we feel like a lot of people have at least they might know what she looks like. They might know that she's worked with animals. A lot of times people say gorillas.
Disney.
She's on Disney. It was chimpanzees that she worked with. Diane Fossey was gorillas, but it's okay.
Yeah.
But at least she feels familiar, you know what I mean? Yeah. Where a lot of the ladies we talk about are like, I've never heard of her. Please tell me more. So I really can't remember if it was before founding Gal's Guide or if it was after, but I was at Disney's Animal Kingdom, and they had a very small exhibit of Jane Goodall's items. And I just kind of sat there and just kind of rested in her story. Granted, my feet were hurting. So I needed a minute. But I just kind of really kind of looked at, they had a journal there. They had a notebook there. They had some of her documents there. And I just kind of sat with them. And then the Indianapolis Children's Museum also had a traveling exhibit that was about Jane's work. And it was much more about the animal side and about tools and how we found the human connections to the chimpanzees. And that one too, I just kind of sat there in that space of heart and connection of nature and conservation. And I just really like being in this Jane space.
Well, and wasn't it a podcast episode when we realized you had a signed book by her with a ticket?
We still have it. We have, which one is that one? It is The Harvest of Hope. We have a signed edition of a Jane Goodall with a ticket of her doing a speaking engagement. So we've got provenance, if you will.
I was going to say, I'll pass lead to this podcast.
Right. Yes. There you go. Yeah. And the fact that it's one of the books that I didn't put in storage for Gal's Guide. It's one that's in the house. I didn't want it lost. I didn't want it damaged. So it's on my cute little shelf right over there. Jane is somebody who I talk about too at Gal's Guides presentations in a small little way. You know what I mean? And I usually do end up talking about Jane because if I talk about a lot of women and people are like, I don't know any of these, and they start to feel bad that they don't know, I throw in a Jane Goodall and they're like, oh, we know her. You know what I mean? Like they get the question right. They feel they're like, oh, okay, all right, phew, I know some women of history. So Jane always has that that connection kind of to people. But first I got to share this because Bonnie will dig it. So Jane actually is one of our 5 name gals.
Nice.
She has a big old long name. So she's a dame, of course, right? So we've got the dame in there. But she is Dame Valerie Jane Morris Goodall. And that's not even any of her husband's names. She didn't professionally take on, she got married twice. At one point, though, very briefly, she went by Baroness, because she married a baron, Baroness Jane Van Ludwig Goodall.
If you are both a dame and a baroness, do they call you Dame Baroness?
Well, she did get divorced from the baron, and then, or was it? Wait a minute. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, she did. Her first husband was a baron, and he was a wildlife photographer, actually, too. Nice. So they were married about 10 years and had a son. So, but when she got remarried, she, I guess, didn't, to my education and my knowledge, did not keep going by Baroness.
I wonder if that's in, like, the divorce paperwork.
Right, it might be, because it's a weird lineage thing. But then at the same time, at least you get to call yourself that, for 10 years. Fantastic. But I am getting ahead of myself, so I'll start at the beginning. So she was born April 3rd, 1934 in Hampstead, London. Her mother was a novelist and her father was a businessman. And I kind of always feel like these two things, they show themselves in her life and her influence. Jane always had a connection to animals. She tried to figure out how a worm walked when it didn't have legs when she was real little. These are the things that perplexed her. She would spend hours in a barn just waiting for an egg to hatch, so much that her mother didn't know where she was and thought she was missing because she was gone for so long and she was just waiting for an egg to hatch. But at the age of 23, she visited Kenya to a family member friend who had a farm. And her friend encouraged her to call Louis Leakey, who was a Kenyan archaeologist and paleontologist. And she was encouraged to call him just because she wanted to talk about animals. You know what I mean? Like, here's somebody you should really just geek out about animals with. Just call Louis. Jane didn't think that phone call would actually lead to a job or a career because she didn't think it was a possibility for a woman to even do that. Primatology was very male-dominated. Jane said that women were not accepted into the field at all. So that idea of that phone call turning into a job as a chimpanzee researcher is just kind of crazy. She would study primate behaviors for a few years in London while funds were being raised for her big trip in 1960. So in 1960, she went to the Gombe Streave National Park, which is in what is now Tanzania. Her mother went with her. There was this serious worry about her safety. And so they thought, well, if her mom goes with her, she's 23. But sure. Sorry, she was 26. She was 23 when she made the phone call. She was 26 when she went to Gombe. So at age 26, the world, as well as Jane, didn't know too much about chimpanzees. So Jane took on this really unique approach. She immersed herself as their neighbor. She was not an observer in the woods. She was not, using the long camera and trying to hide the camera in the trees and all that kind of good stuff. She wasn't documenting from afar. She saw the animals and wanted to be curious of them and wanted them to be curious of her. She tried to spend so much time with the chimpanzees that they would forget that she was there. And so then they would just do their normal things. And that's when she could really observe. That's when she could really document the amazing connections that humans and chimps have. And when I say so much time, I meant she spent 5 years in the Gombe for that time. And she would go back time and time again, but she spent a very long time in research. And her groundbreaking research was one of the elements was that shared connection of tools. So she showed us how chimpanzees and also humans shared this long-term bond and also a range of emotions as well as a connection point. Jane showed the world heart and compassion through joy, but also empathy. A lot of her work was empathy because she would just sit there with the chimps, be among them, be that shared observation, and sharing that space to find similarities, right? So finding how interconnected the world really is. And that takes a lot of empathy and heart to do that. And to remember, she's in the wild. She's not like glamping. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's like heart and empathy in a place where you could die. So there's a little bit more of stretch to stay in your empathy. And then to ask if she was scared when she was in the Gombe, she said this. She said, "A sense of calm came over me. More and more often, I found myself thinking, this is where I belong. This is what I came to the world to do." She also defied scientific reasoning as well. She named the chimps. A lot of scientific researchers numbered them because it's this separation of objectivity and not to gain this emotional attachment. She didn't give a shit. She named them. Do you want to know their names in the first 5 years?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you're on a Zoom call and you're like, what's your cat's name? You know what I mean? That comes into the Zoom call. All right. So these are among the ones she named when she was in the Gombe. So there was David Greybeard. David Greybeard was written about a lot. He was a gray-chinned male who first warmed up to Jane. He was also the one she saw using tools as well. There was Goliath. He was a friend of David and originally the alpha male for this bold nature that he possessed. There was Mike. He was cunning and kind of an improv guy, and he also displaced Goliath as the alpha male at one point. There was Humphrey, who was big, strong, and a bully. There was Gigi, a large, sterile female who delighted with others of being the aunt. Like, couldn't have her own, but so she would take care of everybody else's babies. Mr. McGregor, he was the belligerent older male. Nice. Like the get off my lawn type is what I'm guessing. There was Flo, a motherly, high-ranking female with a big nose and big ears. And then she had 5 babies that were Finnegan, Fabian, Freud, Fifi, and Flint. I think she went on an F kick. Yeah. And then probably one of my favorites because it's got a movie reference to it, Frodo. Nice. So that was Fifi's second oldest child, a very aggressive male who also attacked humans, including Jane. Frodo. Yeah, it wasn't.
Sam would never.
Right. Sam wasn't there to protect her, I guess. Or to stop Frodo from, yeah. Maybe she had a ring. The one ring. So those were the named chimpanzees. So that was in one of her books. She's written 27 books. She has one of her book is called The Great Ape Project. That is not the one we have signed in the library. She wrote this about how she was criticized for her heart and connection with the chimp. She said, "When in early 1960s, I brazenly used such words such as childhood, adolescence, motivation, excitement, and mood, I was very much criticized. Even worse was my crime of suggesting that chimpanzees had, quote, personalities. I was ascribing human characteristics to non-human animals and was thus guilty of the worst ethological sin, anthropomorphism."
That's dumb.
I know, isn't it?
I would think that most of the people who are criticizing them would believe that dogs have personalities, so I don't know why you wouldn't think that primates would.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. So it's very interesting that, that's where she was heavily criticized for. Yeah. When Jane arrived in the Gombe to research chimpanzees, there were two main thoughts, theories, if you will, or just kind of like, these have to be true. One was that they were all vegetarians. They just assumed it. Right, exactly. And that, the second one was that only humans make tools. Those were the...
Now, I'm not...
Yes.
I haven't done a whole lot of studying on primates, but I think their teeth are similar to ours, which
For,
just
like,
looking at my, base knowledge of science.
Yes, do that nerd glasses thing. Yeah.
That they are omnivores.
Right, exactly. You would be correct, my friend. Yes, because Jane observed David Greybeard, the first chimp that I mentioned, taking stalks of grass and putting it inside of a termite mound, and they would go fishing for termites. So they would stick that stalk of grass into the holes, into the termite mounds, wait for the termites to crawl onto the grass, and then pull the grass and then slurp it in their mouth like it was fondue. I mean, gross.
It's both adorable and gross at the same time.
And a tool, therefore, a scientific breakthrough. Yup. Jane also saw the chimps modifying like a branch. I was just watching a thing talking about a switch. It wasn't for a switch. Do you guys know what a switch is? Okay,
like, to beat somebody?
Yeah, like go pick out a switch. Yeah. But the chimpanzees would pick out a stick or a twig and take the leaves off of it so that they could also use that to fish for termites as well. So it's still another way of modifying a tool. But, I don't think they're asking for a switch. Your grandparent. Anyway, sorry. I had to explain it to my kids the other day. And I'm like, there's a reason why you don't know that word. It's because I am a humane person.
It doesn't matter which one you picked out. You had to go get a different one.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I laugh because I don't want to cry. Yes, but when it came to the theory that chimps are vegetarians, which Bonnie already knows, no. So Jane saw the chimpanzees actually hunt and eat other smaller monkeys as well. So Jane would observe dominant females also deliberately killing the young of the other females to keep dominance, and then cannibalism. Yeah, right? So Jane said this about that because it's a very dark subject, but she didn't hide away from it. She said, during the first 10 years of studies, I believed that the Gombe chimpanzees were, for the most part, rather nicer than human beings. Then suddenly we found that chimpanzees could be brutal and that they, like us, had a darker side to their nature. Right? We can all be terrible, I think, is what Jane learned. But in 1977, the year I was born, the year of the stars and the wars. Sorry, that's my Star Wars reference that Katie loves so much.
Katie definitely got that reference.
I love it.
Thank you. But in 1977, she established the Jane Goodall Institute, which hopefully all of our listeners have heard of before. If not, please look it up. It supports more research in the Gombe area. There are offices and there are groups around the world that support conservation, development, and protection for chimpanzees and their habitats. The Jane Goodall Institute is still, and now is, the longest running chimpanzee study in the world. So, super important. Some of her cute little accolades. In 2002, she was named a UN Ambassador for Peace. That's right.
Nice.
And then
talk about longevity, right? That's amazing.
And spreading peace in the meantime, too.
Right?
And then 2004 is when she was knighted as a Dame of the British Empire. Oh. Right? She died in 2025 of natural causes. It was October, so it wasn't really all that long ago. She was 91 years old. When my kids heard the news, they're like, oh no. And I'm like, honey, she was 91. Yeah. And they're like, we always pictured her in her 60s. And I'm like, I love you for it.
That's a great life.
It's a big life, yes. And a wild life, one would say, as well, too. See? a chairman of the National Geographic Society said this about her legacy, and I thought it was really sweet. So Gilbert Grofsner, he said of Jane, quote, Jane Goodall's trailblazing path for women primatologists is arguably her greatest legacy. During the last third of the 20th century, Diane Fossey, Gertrude Gladness, Cheryl Knott, and Penny Patterson, and many more women have followed her. Indeed, women now dominate the long-term primate behavioral studies worldwide. So because of her, there was a new path for more women to study something that when she entered, she did not even think it was a possibility to her. So that's a beautiful legacy.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And then you guys have probably seen like a Jane Goodall quote, like 1 or 17, like they're
Yeah, I was
pretty.
looking up quotes at one point. She's got a bunch of them.
She does. So this is what she said about her life, about what she emphasized was important to her. She said the interconnectedness of all living beings. And I thought how we were covering and are covering the personal and the collective, it really related to that. She also said, quote, every individual has a role to play. Every individual makes a difference.
Oh.
I thought it was so sweet. Because she just like, she gives me the cute little feels, all the heart and connectedness and nature aspect, but then also like wild and also badass.
I see it.
Exactly.
I like it.
She's also got that sweet old lady persona, but
Oh, yeah.
she could probably cut a bitch. I'm just saying.
I mean, she got those Tarzan abs.
Right?
Or is that fiction?
I mean, typecast is cast, right? We never really know, most of us. Only a few
I believe
know.
what I believe.
I like it. I'm sure the fan fiction is out there for it.
There's an internet.
Exactly. I think I do have time. I also have a funny story about Jane Goodall.
Yeah.
That was almost too, like, I thought the two of you would enjoy this funny story. Do you guys know Gary Larson, the Far Side cartoonist?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So in 1987, Gary Larson published. Oh, do you know about this?
Yeah.
It's a good story. Although, I'm going the Wikipedia edition. But so Gary Larson published a Far Side cartoon of 2 chimpanzees grooming. And when one of them discovers a blonde hair, it says, conducting a little bit more research with the Jane Goodall tramp, is what the caption says. The Jane Goodall Institute called the cartoon an autocracy and drafted a letter to its lawyers to Larson and the syndicate of the cartoon. Goodall, Jane, was in Africa at the time, but she found the cartoon amusing.
Yep.
She went on to name it her favorite depiction of herself in pop culture. It continues. So Larson offered the profits from the sales of T-shirts that featured the Jane cartoon to benefit the Jane Goodall Institute. So he tried to make good on the cartoon to give money back. Jane also wrote the preface in the Far Side Gallery number 5, detailing her version of the controversy. She praised his creative ideas. She loved the compare and contrast behavior of humans and animals. And in 1988, Larson visited Jane Goodall, her research facility in Tanzania. And while he was there, he was attacked by a chimpanzee named Frodo.
Love that. Yes.
Karma's a bitch.
Amazing.
That's why I was like, if we had time, that story, it has so many beautiful elements that is just, lovely.
I love everything about that.
Gosh. Yeah, I had only heard up
every day.
Her liking the cartoon.
Right.
I hadn't heard all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah, no, karma also came. I mean, money came, right? Yes. Money into the Institute.
Yes.
Being in on the joke,
She played that just right.
And then Frodo doing what Frodo does. Attacking people.
I'm giving it a chef's kiss.
Yes, right. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I can do any better than that. So should I end this month's?
That's perfection.
Sure.
Sometimes these stories just fall into place. I'm just saying, you know, I don't always go looking for them, but I leave it open for the possibility of what is one of those good bookend like stories.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Well, then that will wrap us up for Heart and Connection Month. Join us next month as we learn how rest is resistance. That's right. Thanks for listening. That's another woven thread into our personal and collective well-being tapestry. If you loved learning about women's history or are looking for some self-care, discover even more community and care at galsguide.org. Until next time, keep sharing women's stories.